Alrighty, welcome everybody. It's Weapons Day, and we're here for the long-awaited Wepisode 13, the finale of Wonder Egg Priority. This show that has been way up and way just kind of okay and a little bit weird. Last episode was episode 12, where we met a duplicate eye, and had a pretty like solid finale for our main character, which would be great if that was the main story and we hadn't diverged a few episodes ago to introduce a whole bunch of plot points that don't seem to be relevant, and I don't know if we have time to finish them. We also met a duplicate eye and some weird stuff happened, but Ai herself let go of Koito in order to save herself, faced down her own suspicions and fears and doubts about Sawaki, and generally self-actualized and became a better person and became okay. So that was pretty great. That was pretty solid. And then some duplicate weirdness happened, some eye stuff happened with eyes, and I'm not sure what's going on. Unfortunately, we still have a whole subplot which seems to be the main plot and the driving antagonistic force of the story, which is Aka Aka Frill, Thanatos, the desire of death and the temptation of death, and three weird bug girls who want to come into your house, fuck up your shit, and steal your pets and feed them to you, which seems a little bit out of line for a character-driven story about these characters who are struggling with their individualized traumas. So, what next? What have here? What episode 13? I don't know. What I do know is what slipped in my Discord, which is that at least part of this finale episode is not a finale episode, but is instead a recap. And maybe it's some kind of weird Madoka loop bullshit thing where it's a recap, but it's not a recap. So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt, and we're going to watch the whole damn thing, and we're going to see what the hell is going on at the end of this show. And then maybe it'll be okay, or maybe it won't. I just don't know. I hope for the best, but I'm worried. Let's watch episode 13 of Wonder Egg Priority and see if it lives up, fixes things, manages to tie up loose ends, gives us a feeling of that was okay, that was a solid show, or if it's a clusterfuck of epic proportions. I'm just not sure yet. So I went ahead and I downloaded the same Subs Please version of Wonder Egg Priority. This is the V2 version. Apparently have already come out with a V2 version of it. This is episode 13 of Wonder Egg Priority. I've got it up and ready to go. It's sitting at 0 seconds. There will be two versions, blah, blah, blah. Before we get into that stuff, I want to just mention how polling will work for the next thing in this slot. Wednesday will remain the recent shows slot. So shows from this past season will go into that poll, as well as the runner-up from the previous seasonal poll, which was Jujutsu Kaisen by a fairly wide margin. So Jujutsu Kaisen will be facing off with Odd Taxi and Vivi, blah, 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 and some of the other shows from this season that look interesting to me and have been recommended to me over the past season of anime, the past 12 weeks. Without further ado, let's get into Wonder Egg Priority episode 13. I've got it up and ready to go. It's 0 seconds. There will be two versions. Picture-in-picture version available in the description. Timer on YouTube. Beep, beep timer to count you down. Let's go. Boom. So I think from what I heard that the first half of the episode is the actual episode, and then there's recap, but I don't know. Nope, we're starting with recap. Cool. And also kind of weird. Right. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Takedo. Yeah. Okay. Yellow triangle. Okay, we're just skipping into this stuff. Cool. Right. My battle against trauma and depression. Okay, skippity, skippity, skip. Skippity, skip. We're skipping real hard now. I'm still wondering if there's something going on with the double eyes. Poof, right. Like, this is a way that you could do this. Lol, no. Lol, super no. Still no. Fuck you! Fuck you! Mm-hmm. So far, though, there's no new information, which is a problem. Because if we did this and we were going through things and recontextualizing them, that could be really interesting. But we're not. I'm getting worried. I started worried, but I'm getting more worried. Because I was thinking about this in the shower, like, it would be a really interesting idea if other I, who did not have any of the experiences that our I has had, actually takes over for her and has to, like, win the thing and fix the world. That would be a really interesting loop situation, and, like, that could be really cool. But I don't think that's what's going on, so I'm confused. I'm super confused. Maybe it just exploded. Maybe it just exploded. Maybe they've got nothing for this episode, and that's why it's recap. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. OP's still great. Character designs are still fantastic. Character animation's good. Story elements are interesting. We're still in recap. You are so dislikable, Rika, at this point in your life, or in your existence as a character. That's not how I would put it. I wouldn't call her tight-fisted with money. I would call her a mooch, a user of others. Anyway. Okay, so we're gonna go one by one and retell the individual stories that were well fleshed out and are done, and we don't need these again. Okay? We're just buying time? I'm tearing up pieces of paper. Sad? Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Hello, Neru. The one that is most interesting. Because she's got something going on. Yeah, I really love Nero's character design and general aesthetic. She runs a big company. Totally normal. Hi, Misaki. I'm waiting for anything interesting. And kind of against her. It's a weird scar, too. That's Frill's bear. Uh-huh. See, I'm still wondering if this is like, we need to reintroduce all these plot points, because otherwise you're not going to get what's about to happen. But even then, that's a deep distrust in your audience's ability to remember and understand things, so I doubt it. Right? Super fascinated with death. Right. This is where we introduce that powerful idea. Right. Fried chicken, pun. Har 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 har. He 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 he. Ho 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 ho. Ha 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 ha. She can see into dreams. Right. See, this is that interesting shit that's actually interesting. Heh. Because the root cause is Frill somehow? Aha. Ooh. Uh-huh. Of course. Eh, does that mean you're human? I don't know. That means it doesn't matter. We've already seen this. We've already talked about it. God fucking, that's not human. That's not normal shit, bruh. That's weird. Sorry, this is getting kind of fun. Okay, right. We got our animal companions. Right, because you're a fucking liar, I guess. Or not? I don't know. Which was super out of nowhere and nonsensical, so... Right, until... Pop! Hello! Creepy. Uh-huh. See, we're zooming to the present and all the information that we already have. Still super fucking cool. I mean, gross and weird, but that's cool in this situation. Please don't show us the feeding scene again. It was super duper gross. You're 100% going to, aren't you? Because you know it's super gross and impactful. Fuck that. Snap to Karage still? See, but I don't know what that means. Overwhelming fear of death. What does that mean? Hello? Awful. Absolutely awful. Right. So far, the names have a theme, hyphen, dot, and then. Fuck. Nope. Okay, we're getting real close. Sorry. Aha. Seems like a great idea. Make somebody complicated and human and then ignore them. Great parenting. Horrifying. Solidly really horrifying and good. Which was our intent. And then the turn. Murder, death, kill. That scene is still solid and visceral. Same with any human being. Okay. Not into the hole. Yep, into the hole. Himari. Who they want to save. And then weird shit, and then pop. Nope. Nope. Spooky. And that on its own fully convinces him that Frill is involved. Because she is. Well, that's not very nice. Kind of. The "don't pretend not to see me" line is still really good. It's just a great line. None of that is an explanation for making Wonder Eggs, but okay. Just doing this for Himari. Right. Okay, we're coming up on 20 minutes. Now we're on final episode territory. I mean, episode 12 territory. And then we'll be into, I guess, new content. Hello. Duplicate. Parareruardo. It explains everything. But it could actually explain everything. Okay. Hell yeah, I'm strong as hell, Bo. Bo? Bro? Boy? What was I going for there? I don't know. You have friends? You really don't. What? We're insert songing over all the Sawaki stuff? What? Okay. pouty face. Are you actually a monster murderer? No. Yeah, we fully never got the answer to that question. We're not going to, are we? Okay. We just keep building things up and then dropping them. Ah. Hello, Koito. Bye. The fuck does that mean? The fuck does that mean? Okay, and now long name creepy one. Ah, ah, ah! So terrifying. That is some weird shit. Hello, Kirara Rodriguez, matured 8 Evening Star Plum. Which one gets their eye ripped out? I'm not sure. But then I know which one replaces the eye, right? See, but that one who's up right now is that one, not triangle one. So she looks down at her and she fully rips her own eye out and gives it to her. 100%. Hure, hure, minna, hure, hure, watashi. Yup. Yup. Fiend. And now it begins. We've got a full episode left. What the fuck now? Let's go. Let's go. Deliver on this shit, man. Excuse? Is that Kotobuki speaking right now? Feels like it's Kotobuki. Hi, Naru. This is a great place to start. Because there's weird shit with Naru. Who are you speaking to? I'm sorry, what? What the fuck? Naru, what the fuck? Okay, cool framing. My priority. Special episode? Hello. Wait, what? 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 You just, what? That was jarring. Intentionally jarring. What? That, are you going to go kill yourself, Neru? Or are you the bad guy the whole time? What the fuck? Um... What the why are you here? What? Who? I'm sorry, I'm more intrigued by the... Why the fuck are you back? Are you actually back? Or is this a weird dream bullshit thing? Wow. Gross. What has all changed? This is the world that I came back to? Neru leaves, Koito is here, and doesn't remember you. It rains. But didn't Neru say it was going to snow? Okay, hi Neru, I think. Or is that Koito? No, that's Neru. I'm sorry, she's here too? Oh, no, on the phone. On the phone. Okay. What the fuck? What is happening? What? This is the world where you never met them? Where you never met Koito. Did we switch with... What? Did we switch world lines? We must have. We literally must have, right? But when and why? And does this have something to do with the eye? The mural is different. If that's the same tunnel, the mural is different. What? What is happening? Right, they never existed in this universe. But you switched? How, when, what? You don't throw the phone. Okay, throw the phone. Fine then. What are you doing? What? Why are you going for Sarah? What? Okay, that photo exists. What the fuck? Okay. What do you mean, ah? What do you mean, ah? That doesn't make any fucking sense. So it's an altered universe where the things that caused their deaths never happened. And there is some butterfly effect going on. Yeah, me too. I think Nerv's playing a different game. What if they're gone too? No, let's go check on the fucking thing that we're dealing with. Let's not just blindly be like, everything's fine. There are still bug creature girls who killed your pets. Okay, Momo, you chill. I did not. That's why you should go and figure this shit out, man. No, not to get even, to understand, man. Okay. All right, fair enough. You're not going. Okay. Time to chillax. Yeah, we don't know the repercussions of doing that, so let's not talk about that as an option before we know the repercussions of doing that, please. So far, this has been a whole lot of a nothing burger. 15 minutes of a nothing burger. Kind of have my mind on other things right now. Frill. Is gonna be Frill. Is gonna be Frill. Is that Misaki Ta? Yeah, okay. That's been Frill the whole time, huh? Naru that we've known has been Frill this whole time? Wait, what? Okay, so she brought her younger sister back and cleared her thing. And so it's your chance to do so, I suppose. Okay. Okay. Hi. You're back too. Or no, you are in you just never died in this world. Okay. All three of the insectos? Ah. Oh boy, we're really cutting corners here. Never was never human. Huh? 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 That's just Rika. Huh? No, what? Cool, creepy shot. Sure. It's almost photographic. That's kind of nice. Great tech. What do you mean she built an AI in the form of Iru? So, wait, what? What? Okay. What? 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 No, I will not have answers. What? What? What awful thing did you do? What? What? I don't even have enough information to make the question of what just happened. I fully what? Okay. This is how we managed to not tell the end of the story that we don't have an ending for? We just ignore it? We just ignore it? We're just doing an epilogue? Our main character just throws the phone away and just does an epilogue? What is actually in front of you? Nothing. You're just looking at the gotcha. Uh. Oh, okay. Cool cut. Okay. What? Where is Neru? What? Why? What? 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 I just hit a mental wall of what? Six seconds. Hey, that's gorgeous. Uh. Yay! What? Okay. 20 minutes of recap. 23 minutes of recap. Shit, some of this, none of it got in my tea, right? Okay, good. It's gonna be a bitch to clean up, but it's worth it. It was worth it just to have something to do during this snooze fest. Okay. So we get up through here, through the ending, and then we jump into Neruverse, Neruville, because your place is gone now. She wakes up, starts doing weird, different voices to each other as the two rabbits that are her feet, which I really like as a scene. It's nice and spooky. It reminds me a lot of the rabbits in Penguin Drum. except that it doesn't build into anything because I don't understand what it is. Are we looking at Neru or are we looking at Iru right now? I don't know. But I think I'm more like an adult, I suppose. Blah, blah. Looking at the things. She gets that bag with Adam in it, brings it to Ai's house, drops it off and tells her, I'm going on a trip, bye-bye, and then leaves. We go to school. Koito is here. Koito doesn't know us. We warped to another timeline where Koito never died. But also a timeline where we never became friends with Koito. But if we never became friends with Koito, Ai killed herself. So what? If we never became with wait, what? But the Ai that is here is still the Ai that was here, so we just manufactured a Koito and inserted her into the... See, but we can't have parallel world timeline stuff where things diverge at different choices and then have breaks in the flow that we run into paradoxical logic, which is why this doesn't make any fucking sense. Okay, right. He committed suicide. She had a problem with the teacher. Koito was the problem. Great. Yippee-ki-yay. Never knew Koito. Didn't know her. Spooky, scary moments. Great. Call Neru. Don't get an answer. Goodbye. Weird running through a water sequence. Meet Tanabe. I don't know you. We're friends. One-sided affection is a nuisance. So, but she actually met Iru at that moment, not Neru. We go into here and things are different. The sunflowers aren't there. She throws her phone. She almost doesn't throw her phone and then throws her phone. She considers addiction, doesn't do it. We go to a karaoke bar for no reason. Everything is different for all of these characters. They brought back what they wanted, but it wasn't actually what they wanted and the way that they wanted it, which makes sense. But it doesn't because it doesn't. Momo doesn't want to go and get hurt. Fine, fair. Bye-bye. Call comes in. It's Tanabe. That was Iru. Neru is missing. Neru left, which is why she dropped off the rat. So she brought her sister back and then left because her sister was a problem. Let's go watch her last stream. See, when you say stuff like, I believe Neru would want you to know, too, it makes me think that you're going to actually parcel out some information here and give me some info. Except then you don't. So the whole thing is a nothing burger. It's not even beyond beef. There's just nothing in the burger. It's just bun.
It certainly is a big bun.
It's a very big bun.
Big fluffy bun.
It's a very big fluffy bun.
Where's the beef?
Neru lived here, enjoyed living here. Hai Kotobuki's back for some reason. She's not one of the dead ones that was brought back by eggs and shit. She just has the ability to do that, I guess. Comes here because the me in this world died, which happened. We killed her, right? We pushed the button, killed her. So this is a parallel version Kotobuki. Comes back, great. Rika doesn't know about the parallelism, so we have to spend more time explaining it to somebody else. I can't believe you came to save me. If you're sending me back, does that mean that you'll be staying here? No, she wants to go see her friends, but instead of going and seeing her friends, she goes back and then leaves. 3 of you I see I get VIP treatment, which I assume is the 3 bugs all show up. We pull out the monster. She returns her snake. If you sacrifice your pet, you get to live. Why? None of that tracks, that it doesn't track. I understand that they need a life for some reason, for some kind of equivalent exchange bullshit. So Neru doesn't do that, and thus Neru is killed? Frill appears, overtakes Neru. Why? Because you're like me and I know what you really want. You can become human. Because the Neru that we've known... Apparently the me from here built an AI in Iru's image. The me from... here? And that was Iru? She was too good, so... Oh, okay. So the Neru from here built an AI in Iru's image when there was already an Iru, and then that Iru was mad. And I don't understand. Jump to pretty scene. Lives can't be that cheap. It can't just be that easy. Har har har, he he he. Oh no, she's crying. Everything's sad. Everything's different and broken because it's all weird. Neru calls us, giving us the chance to reconnect, and we throw the phone. Literally our protagonist at the end of the finale going, oh, the opportunity to get the answers that I've been looking for. Nah. I mean, that's a great way if you don't have those answers to just make the show not care about those answers. You could spin this and be like, oh, good, Ai has learned to focus on her own priorities, thus the episode title, but none of the Neru shit makes any sense. We didn't get dissed by Neru. We got dissed by Iru Neru, who was what? Who wasn't a character until today, and we don't have any background on who the character is. And then she goes to a new school and wonders, I wonder if Neru managed to become human. Why is Neru not human now? I thought Neru was human, but part of Japan Plati. What happened? I don't understand. Emotional flash-throughs into gotta do a thing, into running sequence, into pretty great scene as she turns this corner, pretty great, into I want to see Neru again, and so Otoai is back. Does any of this make sense to people? To any of you? Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something, but I feel like what I'm missing is the entire burger in my burger.
Where's the beef?
Right? Right? All the episodes up until episode like 9 had the full bun, the meat, the cheese, some extras, maybe some bacon and avocado, lettuce and tomato, the full burger, the whole burger. Had some fluff, had some condiments, had some meaty, juicy stuff, right? This episode has 2 buns. There's nothing here. What? The episode keeps saying things that seem like they're supposed to be interesting and be answers and be like make sense, but they don't. It keeps presenting new ideas as though they'll fill the gaps of the ideas that we need explained. It keeps producing new information as though the new information will fill the holes in the old information, but it doesn't. What happened? Who decided this was okay? I'm incensed, but there's not even enough here to be mad about. This isn't like was it Ahiru no Sora? The tennis show? No, that's the other one. Hoshiai no Sora. The tennis one where they just fully got like canceled, right? And it just stops in the middle of telling story elements that actually make sense, right? Because that's how that show went. Was that also that wasn't also Clover, was it? No, that was Studio 8-bit. Cool. Because otherwise there'd be a fucking trend. This isn't like that. This isn't like shows going. We've got another core to work with. There's a lot more stuff to explore. We're setting up not for a finale, but for a continuation. Let's go. Oh no, they pulled production from us and we no longer have a budget or the ability to use our space or do our thing, right? Oh, okay. Well, fuck. We'll wrap it as quickly as we can. This isn't like that. This is like incomprehensible. There's all this room for this to make sense. Okay. So we clear the game, and shockingly, the game that we play is legitimate. Somehow, Akka and Uraaka have the techno bullshit that if you clear enough egg girl trauma incidents, you get to pull back your statue girl from another reality. What? do our characters transfer to a reality where the people that they want to save never died, or do the people that they want to save appear in their reality? Neither one makes sense. You can't you can't you can't do you can't do parallel worlds with timelines and shit and then just throw it away. And just like, okay, we've established that there are parallel universes where timelines and like decisions made by individuals cause divergences. That explains whatever the fuck we want to do, no matter what it is. No. No. Stop it. Please. Cease your behavior. I'm getting angrier. I'm getting more weirded out as I think through what happened here. None of my usual, like, the things that usually go wrong make sense here, right? Oh, it's time crunch. Great. So, if it's time crunch, reduce the amount of animation effort and execute upon the story that was already written, right? Or condense that part of the story and hold on to the key elements. There's nothing. Nothing happened. Nothing makes sense. It's almost certain now that a large portion of the story was not planned. It's the only explanation that I personally have, because the way that this plays out does not make sense it doesn't make sense to say that is caused by production issues, right? Incomprehensibility in storytelling is a writing issue, and the writing is something that should be done before the rest of the production occurs. And it seemed like it had been. It seemed like it had been. It seemed like it made sense. It seemed like, in fact, it seemed as though we were starting off a story with an end game in mind, right? The first 6, 7 episodes feel like we're being introduced to characters in a world and a storyline with an end game in mind. Specifically, an end game that would recontextualize the first half, right? Or would change our understanding of the first half. A la Madoka Magica, which, to be fair, has its own clusterfuckery, right? It has its own clusterfuckery, but it still delivers on a final episode that completely and utterly changes our perspective, or a final episode or two that completely and utterly change our perspective on what has been going on in the past episodes. What I thought coming into this episode, what I thought was going to happen was some kind of explanation that indicates to us that the I we have been working with is not the I that we have been working with. That there's some sort of weird timeline, parallel world loop fuckery involved in the sequence where the one eye takes her one eye and puts it in the other eye's eye, which I still think is what happened there. And something about that changes, like, the nature of our characters and the nature of their journeys. Instead, we just start from where we left off with I waking up after the weird parallelism shit happens, and we just keep going from there as though we're following the what should happen after this. The storytelling doesn't feel right. It feels like a whole lot of and then storytelling, but the and thens don't make sense. They just diverge and go off in random directions. I feel my brain breaking as I try to wrap my head around this. So are you telling me that the Neru we've known this whole time was an AI? What does that change? Why? Why is that the case? And then the whole thing with Neru made an Iru? What is that about? What is the point of it? Why does this Neru leave? I can grasp the whole Koito thing. Koito back, Koito weird, great. Same with Giemi, same with what's her face? Momo's girl. We have these emotional scenes like throwing the phone that don't come off of anything or don't lead into anything. We have this sequence where our characters all sit around and are like, well, I guess we did it. Everything's weird and we didn't really get what we wanted, but we're all happy with that because we've sort of overcome the issues that brought us here. Okay. So what's the deal with the whole temptation of death? What's the deal with the 3 bug girls? What's the deal with the animal pets that had to die? What's the deal with literally any of that? Specifically, okay, let's jump back a little bit. Specifically, what's the deal with the temptation of death? Because we were told that, like, Frill's temptation of death, whatever manifestation of blah, 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 Thanatos, weird, blah, 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 was real bad and was the cause of suicides. And then Momo and Rika both experience it. And both of them end up shuddering under blankets, terrified and freaking out. And we get some ominous stuff about that. And then they're fine. What? Where did that go? What is the Kotobuki stuff for? Why is she here? Why was she in the dream in the first place? Why does she matter? Was it just so that we could have an episode about assisted suicide? And like euthanizing individuals who are comatose? When you can dive into their dreams and fully... Why was any of that there? What was it for? What was its purpose? Because our first 7-8 episodes had a very specific, clear purpose, right? Our characters are traumatized and have their own difficulties in life. They also have people that they know who have died. In order to reobtain the people that they know who have died, they venture into egg worlds and save other girls from the traumas that led to their individual suicides. And by understanding the traumas of those characters, they are able to defeat the villainous monsters that caused them their trouble and get a better understanding of their own individual personal traumas while moving a counter, right? Collecting whatever for whatever magical girl thing you want and putting them in the whatever magical girl box that you can buy at fucking Toys R Us. Not that Toys R Us exists anymore. Rip Toys R Us. That was our whole story, right? And it had full buy-in from me. Full buy-in, sure, fine. But we are also going to introduce some weird elements. There are these 2 dudes who are mannequins, and that's weird. They also talk through bugs and toilet paper sometimes, and that's weird. They've manufactured this system that allows you to jump into eggs, and that's weird. When we set that thing up, we fully expect that to come back around as some sort of... They are utilizing the expressed energy, emotional power, whatever, of our Wonder Girls in order to achieve some goal of their own. That tracks. And it tracks up until the point that we introduce the Frill stuff and are like, oh, okay, somehow they're using the egg girls to change the world so that Frill stuff never happened, and they did fix the thing, and it gets kind of wonky, wiggly weird. And then we have episodes like the Kotobuki episode where we introduce some timeline stuff and some parallel worldism, and that's like, okay, maybe we're going to fold that in somehow and use it as an explanation for how the technology that's working behind the scenes on this egg shit actually works. But then we get into this weird semi-mystical Thanatos, Power of Death, Frill, and her fucking weird-ass insect girl things, which seem to be just present to produce a horror movie aesthetic weirdness and creepy thing. And suddenly there's an evil group of evil that's causing all of the problems in our story, and our characters are still doing the same thing that they were doing. They have their same individual goals, and they reach those individual goals, and then there's all the rest of the stuff left. Why was all the rest of the stuff there? Simplify this, boys. Simplify this shit. What do you do? What do you do? How do you fix this? How do you fucking fix this? I mean, you can't. You can't. It's out there. It's done. It's out. the episode is here. This is the end of Wonder Egg Priority. The chances that it's going to get a second season are 0 because they fucked it at the ending. So what do you do? What do you do at episode 10 as production starts to fall apart, as it apparently did? I don't know how. I don't know why, because I haven't looked it up, because I don't look these things up, because I want to react to these things blind, and I want to try to figure out what's going on. But usually when shows end this way and get fucked up by the end, there's some kind of sense to it. But here, it's like the fuckery was in the initial writing. And by fuckery, I mean that there wasn't any after like 6 episodes. Where's the finale? Where's the arc? I guess it doesn't exist. I guess what I said last week holds utterly true, entirely true, which is episode 12 is the finale for our primary character's arc. Our protagonist, Ai, goes through her full arc and ends it at that episode. Here's what I think should be. I think we should fully lean into Akka and Uraaka are actually the bad guys. And that they are actually the bad guys in that they are using the efforts of these young girls trying to save their suicidal friends. They're using that power for their own gain, for their own purposes, potentially to fuel their own lifespans or some shit, right? Easy villain shit. Okay? But they're claiming that they're saving people. And so we buy in for the first half until we start realizing some stuff is weird and they don't seem to know what they're talking about when it comes to gendered issues. And they super don't seem to know what they're talking about when it comes to like boys and girls suicides are different, yada yada, all the lines that they've had. There's no frill shit. They're just two scientists desperately trying to cling on to life that they should not have anymore, right? Boom. Done. No insect girls. No fucking pets. You can have the pets. It doesn't matter. You can have them. They didn't matter anyway. They didn't do shit. They were just there, and we introduced the problem that the pets solve in the same episode that we introduced the pets. The haters are the thing that the pets solve. And all the haters were more anti, right? It doesn't matter. It's just fluff. It's bun. It's all bun. It's all bun. Where's the beef? Where's the lamb sauce? Where's the beef? Why is it all bun?
It's a very big bun.
Oh my god. Okay, anyway. Akka and Uraaka are just the bad guys. No frill stuff, no bugs. I'm gonna throw the rest of this. No frill stuff, no bugs. None of that shit. I can be a secret trader, or Neru can be a secret trader who's actually an AI, but she became friends with I legitimately and believes, so maybe she does like a turn at the end and is our friend. Great, done. Excellent. And when our characters reach the point of the final egg project, the girls they were trying to save don't get saved. We don't need no parallel worldism because there isn't any. And the characters that they're trying to save don't get saved. They're dead. Welcome to harsh reality. The ones who live on are not those characters. They're the ones with the resources, information, technology, and money to keep themselves living on. Akka and Uraaka. Transition to they're the villains, but we have to dive into some kind of egg thing, whatever, in order to defeat the real villains. Because they don't exist on our plane anymore. Then you've got a whole thing that works thematically and narratively. Instead, we have a story where two scientist dudes who somehow turn themselves into mannequin men that can talk through bugs and toilet paper created an AI girl, Frill, who went a little bad because they treated her terribly, and produced 3 insect people for unexplained reasons, and tempts people to death for unexplained reasons, and is part of the causes of suicide, but also part of the huge guilt complex that Aka and Uraraka, who are actually seemingly okay, like their motivations are somewhat acceptable. I mean, they're personally invested and they're trying to like cover up / right the wrong that they produced by building a girl and then fucking up with raising her. And also to save Himari somehow. Although that never comes back in any way, shape, or form. It's like every time I start talking about one of the plot lines in the show, I reach a point where it just hits a wall. It just doesn't go anywhere. Which makes me feel like I'm missing something that's like, oh, this key moment changes everything and suddenly everything makes sense. But it doesn't. Why doesn't it? Like, I don't need it to make perfect logical sense. I'll buy into there are magical girls. I'll buy into we can transition into egg things that have people in them and save them from their own traumas. I'm down. That makes emotional sense. It's emotional logic. It's fine. I'm happy with that symbolic existence. It's fine. That's great. It's good. See, I can't help but keep thinking Madoka, right? Except as insane and bonkers and weird and kind of fucked as Madoka is, it actually nails the end of its story. Right? It actually nails the end of its story. It shows us Homura's sacrifice and the loops that she goes through and the ends that she goes to achieve her goal and to save her friends. And we feel it. And it changes everything we thought we knew about the character. We get the organization that promises good things to young girls but is actually sinister. We get it. It's there. We get the journey of our pretty optimistic Genki girl protagonist who sees darkness and understands it and chooses to fight against it and then chooses to sacrifice herself so that nobody else has to see that darkness in the same way, right? So many of those elements feel almost identical. Kubeaka and Ura Kubeaka. Right? Except instead, they're not sinister. They're, I guess, they're just dudes who fucked up and feel bad about it. But they're also kind of messed up in the way that they're trying to fix the way that they feel bad. They're more trying to salve their own egos than they are trying to solve the problem. What is the frill shit for? Why is it there? What did it do for the story? What is the Thanatos Eros temptation of death stuff there for? To have big words? To sound mystical? Is it like Anno putting a bunch of crosses in Evangelion because he thought it would be cool? Am I just trying to analyze something that doesn't have any thought put into it? It feels like it. It feels like I'm discussing how well done this nothing fucking burger is. It's like I'm trying to discuss the fat ratio on a burger that doesn't exist. It's just bun. Fuck. This show doesn't even get a fuck you show. That's reserved for good shit that makes me feel things. I fully expected some level of clusterfuck here. I really did. I did not expect a genuinely incomprehensible mess of an episode. To follow up the last two episodes where that incomprehensibility has admittedly been slipping in. It's been slipping in since we introduced the frill stuff. Because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't track with the rest of the story. The 40-minute episode also has some corners cut. Number one, half of the 40-minute episode is a fucking recap, fam. That's a bit of a red flag, right? It's a bit of an issue. And I fully thought that it was the other way around, where the first half was gonna be new content, and then the final half, because that's what I read somewhere. I saw that pop up on my Discord or something. I thought it was flipped, which actually gave me some hope, because what I thought they were gonna do is we were going to move to a weird ending, right? An ending that changes the way we see things. And then we would recap things in a way that's like, oh, all these things make interesting, like there's a difference here. There's something weird. And I thought it was going to have something to do with the parallel world stuff, right? If we take the parallel worlds ism and we say, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to replace one of our core characters with a version of that character from a different world who then has to experience the events of this character's like story. Maybe we replace Neru with a different Neru, right? A variant Neru who never met Ai and then suddenly is doing the monologue over the recap of the rest of the other Ai and the other Neru and understanding what's really going on. There's at least something interesting that could happen there. Or like maybe the Ai who we saved in the final episode, which is episode 12. This one isn't an episode. This is a nothing burger. Where's the beef? It's the fuck? Man, the fuck? What if the depressed Ai who killed herself has to wake up in the moment of our Ai's greatest like darkness, which is where we start. We start with our Ai in her greatest moment of darkness, right? So the depressed Ai wakes up and is like, I still don't have friends. I still don't have friends because the friend that I did have is dead. Now she's curious about what went different in this universe that her Ai made a friend. She was told by the Ai that saved her that there's a possibility, there's a chance in your life. And then that Ai has to pull herself up by her bootstraps and meet all these other people and do the whole thing over again. But the person doing the whole thing over again is the weak version of Ai, thus proving the point made before, which is, but you're me, we're both strong. Could be so interesting. Doesn't happen. Not the story we are told. Not what's here. What is what's here? Nothing. Nothing. Double-decker Big Mac with no burger. It's all bun. What's crazy here is that I don't hate the show. I really should. I super should. But I like so much of it. I would never recommend that anybody watch it. Never. Never. Because this is ridiculous. This doesn't make any fucking sense. If somebody asks me if they should watch Wonder Egg Priority, I'm just gonna say no. We'll go watch Madoka Magica. Watch the first season of Madoka Magica. You got it. It's done. And then watch a KyoAni show. Watch fucking I don't know. Watch Hibike, right? And then we got the combo. We got the full combo. You got all the character design and gorgeous art and stuff that you possibly could need out of Hibike, and you got the weird clusterfuck timeline, weird shit storytelling, but actually done interestingly in Madoka. Done. Fucking done. What's crazy to me is that there are people, significant group of people with a ton of talent and a ton of passion for this project who worked on this project and worked their asses off. And some people who are not in that group, who maybe have talent but fucked some other things up, have absolutely ruined this part of those individuals' career. Because Wonder Egg Priority in the public consciousness is going to be a stain on the careers of many of the people who worked on it, specifically the directing, editing, and writing staff on this show might not get more jobs. That's rough. That's rough. And what's crazy is a whole bunch of the episodes are excellently directed, well composed, interesting, great character art, great animation, great flow and storytelling and general finesse and production, right? That overarching word, production. Many of the episodes are, up to and including the Frill episode, which, while it's completely disconnected from the rest of the episodes that came before, is still a really interesting horror episode of its own ilk, and still really well done. But there are people who worked on this project whose careers are over. That's horrifying to me. That's scarier than the whole Frill episode. I uh, this doesn't feel like any disastrous ending that I've ever seen. This is a disastrous ending, but it doesn't feel like any disastrous ending that I've ever seen. It doesn't feel like we ended up with just time crunch. It doesn't feel like we didn't have the production time. I know that we didn't. I know that Web didn't have the production time that it supposedly needed. But here's the thing. They took the time, right? They took the time to make a recap episode and put that out, which was supposed to change things, right? Give them a bit of leeway. And it did for a moment, but then it didn't. And then they took the time to be like, we didn't finish the story. We have to do more. So they made a 40-minute special episode a month and a half later. So they took that month and a half to produce it. And then they made half of it a recap. Why? 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 See, the implication when you say, "Oh, we don't have the time to produce the thing," there's a time crunch. That implies that there is a story that has been planned out that needs more time to tell, right? Especially when you schedule out a 40-minute block. That implies that there is this story that needs more production and time to tell. So, like, first season of Bakemonogatari, when there's all of this content that has to be compressed into this season, and Shaft isn't able to produce it, they do a bunch of it with these weird black frames and empty scenes and placeholders, and they still produce the story. The bits of character dialogue that need to happen still happen. The events that need to occur still occur. It's just that corners are cut at every possible moment, every possible corner is cut to save on time, right? Not padded out to fill time. When you pad things out to fill time, that says that you don't have anything planned and don't have anything you need to get done and don't have any story to tell. You're just throwing shit at the wall and hoping that it keeps the audience entertained. But then you get to the story that you are trying to tell, and there isn't a story anymore. It just disappears. It just vanishes. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's fog. It's a two buns full of fog. Which is why I'm so curious about what happened. What actually happened. Like, I want to... Let's go to Google. Let's go. We're going. I want to know. What happened? Wonder Egg priority. Sure. Tainted by a disappointing special, ending explain... Oh, okay, we'll see what that's about. I guess some people are gonna try to explain this shit. Let's find out. I'm interested in the production side. Double-length episode, blah, blah. So it's been months. Recap Ai's perspective. OP's still beautiful. Streamlined the finale, but it's not. Yep. Shake a ghoulish wrongness. Yup. Recontextualizes a lot of the setup. No, it doesn't. A go-nowhere series of resolutions. Whatever this is. Yeah, basically, the person who wrote this article is just going, I don't understand what happened. This doesn't make sense. And then a bunch of things that are just clarifiably wrong. Worse, it does wrong by all of the young girls in this series by retconning an abuser into, quote, an actually good guy teacher. I don't think that's necessarily true. Soul Sword, your utterly weak resolution. Great. So a bunch of insults, no information. Thanks, article. Who's that from? This is on the But Why Though podcast by Mercedes Cluis. Mercedes, get your head on straight. This is a mediocre article. Write better articles. After a disappointing special, is Wonder Egg Priority Still Good by Ruben Barron on CBR.com. I'm just going to skim. Plot threads are bungled badly. I agree. Ignore the ending entirely. Okay. Rika and Momo's stories are great. I don't know that that's true because they don't go anywhere. Neru's tied to the other stuff. Neru turned out to be a robot. Okay, that is what happened. So irrelevant. Yeah, agreed. Fully agreed. Ayan Koito's story might be ruined. Why? Died by accident while falsely accusing him of rape. Makes sense. Asking viewers to accept the creepy teacher as completely innocent and Koito as a liar who basically deserved to... Yeah, I wouldn't say that as a liar who basically deserved to die. It's still a tragedy. However, all of that was fully set up. It was fully established, right? Like all of the scenes that we see of Koito are pretty venomous and weird, right? And then all of the scenes that we see of Sawaki are just from Ai's perspective, tainted by her suspicion, right? Right. Okay. Episode 12 would honestly have made a better ending for Ai's story arc. Absolutely. Feels both rushed and pointless. Indeed. Rushed and pointless. Special announced, twisted ending, give me a new thing, my priority. 25 minutes of recap. Neru completes her Wonder Egg mission, but has lost them. That's not what happened. She's a robot. Oh, I guess that is what happened because she doesn't let Pinky or whatever die. Now, is Mr. Sawaki being honest? Who cares? It's not what matters. Why have the resurrected girls forgotten their friends? It doesn't matter. That part it has to do with timeline fuckery. That's fine. Iru, younger twin, comes back to life. Ai and Neru meet, and the latter pretends to blah. Not Neru, but her sister. Neru went missing, is gone. Cool. Frill wished to be human. One of the versions of her created an AI in the image of... None of this matters. None of this is what I want. This is a better article. This is by Madalena Dalezieux, an Epic Stream writer on Epic Stream. Better article. Good job. Ish. It's not terribly helpful, and there's no investigative journalism. It doesn't exist anymore. I mean, that's true anyway. There are very few good independent investigative journalists, and none of them work in the anime space. But, are we just gonna hand wave it as production issues? Yes. Yep. Thanks, AnimeCorner.me by Kelly. Appreciate the article that is not helpful at all. I want to know what happened with the production. This was the chaotic production of Wonder Egg Party, written April 6th. Okay, production issues explained in depth. Thank you, Reddit. Holy fuck. And then Sakuga blog hasn't gone late enough in order to do it. This is on INA News, article written by, it's at the bottom. It's not listed who wrote the article. Cool. Came to an end, new episode. Production in total chaos. They eventually discovered presence of multiple production companies on the credits when a large number of people or companies are involved in projects, mainly because that's not necessarily true. I mean, that can be true, but almost every anime has a huge list of different production companies working on the project. So that's not necessarily an indicator of such. But if the number of production companies in the end credits increase episode by episode, that could be a problem. Okay. Compilation chapter moved the things. Production team published the script with an unplanned compilation episode. Weird broadcast credits, numbers, things. Wait for the finale. Help reportedly came in the form of entertainers hired outside of Japan who finally began participating near the end. From where are these... Cite your sources! And then there's just a synopsis. This isn't helpful. This isn't helpful. Fuck, this was like my hope. Wonder Egg priority production issues explained in depth, except that this is just a link to Sunbro Review's 4 minutes article with a review of the episode. Do you fear the finale might be rushed? Okay, I'm going to dive into this video.
There has been a lot of bad news surrounding Wonder Egg, and the series director are handled by complete team.
Yeah, primary director and series director are newbies. That's fine.
Quite a bunch.
Woof. Unfortunately, this is actually a pretty good episode, or a pretty good video. Good job, Sunbro Reviews. I had never heard of your channel, but he actually did some investigative journalism. Crazy. Looking into articles and output by staff members and finding specific instances of production fuckery over the course of the thing. Unfortunately, the video that I just watched ends with him being like, a breath of hope for this show. There's a finale episode that's now being aired, and maybe it'll fix all these issues. Sunbro, my man. My mans. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but it's not gonna happen. It's fucked. It's a nothing burger. It's a burger with nothing in it. No. Oh, no, man. Oh, no, man. Okay, here's an article on ANN. This one's out from Steve Jones. The worst thing you could say about an ending is not that it's confusing, inconclusive, or disappointing, but that the rest of the story works better without it. Oh, yep. Heavy and delicate themes, too many plot lines, double-length finale gave us hope, but nope. Does do a hell of a lot with its finale's runtime. Okay, unfortunately, most of it sucks. Thank you. It's a disaster, no swagger, something went desperately wrong, it held itself together, and then it fell apart. Some unsalvageable stuff. Cool. Incompetent exit. Yeah, see, here's the thing. Most of these articles just call out, like, oh, the production was obviously a problem, right? Like, something in the execution of these ideas went wrong. Thank you, Captain Duh. Captain No Shit. Captain Obvious is out, right? We've got the backup team, Captain Duh and Captain No Shit Sherlock. No shit. What happened? Did they not have the story written? Because that's the only answer that makes sense to me, is that there was no plan for where this story was going. It's the only one that makes sense to me, the only one that tracks. Because again, you can tell a story in a way that makes sense without producing it at the maximum level of production value. And that's fine. But you can't make a burger without a fucking burger. Where's the burger? Where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
It's all bun. There's nothing here. The story doesn't go anywhere. It just ends at episode 12, and then we fumble for a while. And actively try to stuff the episode to fill time while we fumble around for something that feels like a conclusion. when we had a better conclusion already. That's what seems so wrong here. We reached the conclusion. And now there's nothing to say. There's nothing to do. We can't set up for a second season because we just had a conclusion. We can't come to an ending because we just had a conclusion. We didn't manage to wrap the plot threads together. We didn't that's what it is metaphorically, right? We have a bunch of strands that we're supposed to tie together into the end of a rope, and we tied together some of them, and some of them are just left hanging. And they just blow in the wind. And they're not cohesive, and they don't form a knot, and they don't make sense, and they're not useful as a rope or a show. I think there's a ton of really good stuff about this show. Okay, there are 285 forum posts off of this Anime News Network article. So I'm gonna skim it. This is all commentary on the episodes itself, which is not what I'm interested in. Yeah, no, there's nothing in this forum thread, unfortunately. Okay. I'm really fascinated by this. In the same way that when you see like a car crash, it's sometimes hard to look away. You're like, what happened? What's going on? It's a morbid curiosity. But mostly, I went to a nice restaurant and I ordered a burger. Now fuck me for ordering a burger at a nice restaurant, but I ordered a burger. I got all dressed up, had some wine, ordered myself a fucking dank burger with all the fixins, and I was delivered a bun on top of a bun on a plate. I just want to know where my burger is. I just want to know where I don't even necessarily want the burger anymore. I'm curious what happened in the kitchen to make it that the chef didn't notice that there wasn't a burger on this burger. The sous chef didn't notice. None of the other cooks noticed. The waiter who brought it out to me didn't notice. Where's my fucking burger? I'm sorry, I know I keep diving in on the burger thing, but where's the burger? I want the fucking burger. I don't know. This is a baffling ending to a show. And it's not like Hoshii no Soro where we know what happened, and what happened is cruel and sucks. Like, we know that for Hoshii no Soro, we know that an ambulance just pulled up and EMTs are rushing into the kitchen. The reason my burger didn't come out for Hoshii no Sora is because the fucking staff is on life support now, right? Like, that's what happened in that show. I don't know what happened in this one. What happened? It would be better if the waiter didn't bring me anything instead of just a bun. Holy fuck. Where's my burger? I'm not even mad. I don't even hate the show. It's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. But every time I try to think through what was intended here. Because it's so crazy. Every time I try to... let me finish my thought, because the thought is actually about not being able to finish my thoughts. Every time I try to think through what actually happened here, in world, in universe, what were the arcs of the characters, what occurred here, like, that's the first thing. If it's incomprehensible enough that I'm having a significant difficulty understanding what actually occurred, and I'm seeing as I read through those articles that I just read through, like, oh, Neru herself was actually a robot. I didn't realize that at all. But I guess it is true, because we get the whole Frill being like, you're like me, you want to become human thing. Oh. So I'm still having trouble piecing together the events that's apparently occurred on screen. And then I'm also having an impossible time trying to understand why they occurred. When usually, that's like my job. This is what I do. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm necessarily good at it, but I like to think that I'm okay at figuring out what was intended and how it ended up playing out and all that stuff. That's what interests me. But every time I try to do that, I just hit this wall that's like, and then things happen, and then the story ends without ending. What's crazy to me is that the point and the themes and the arcs and the plots for the first 6, 7 episodes, the first 7 before the recap, make perfect sense. Again, emotional, symbolic sense, not necessarily logical sense. Still got weird egg shit and other unexplained things. Make perfect sense. And then the second half just explodes. It just falls all over itself. I'm very confused by this show. I want to know where my burger is. Where's the beef? Where is it? Where's the beef? Oh. Okay, I've talked for now 2 hours about the show. I spent 40 minutes ripping up paper for no reason. I feel great, honestly. I was gonna say something like, "Oh, I feel dead inside," and yada yada, but that's honestly just ridiculous. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna move along, and we're gonna watch something hopefully better and more interesting from the most recent season. I think this was a great choice in terms of the poll and what y'all chose for me to watch and what y'all were interested in watching. I think it was a great choice. I think it was a fascinating show that we got a lot of really interesting discussion out of. It had a ton of stuff to like in it. I really liked a lot of the show. I still do. And then this. I don't know what to think about this. But I don't feel bad. I don't even feel necessarily angry. I'm just confused, and I want to know where my burger is. Somebody should at least have the decency to come out of the kitchen and tell me that they're out of ground beef. And then we can figure out a compromise here, and I will be able to move on with my life. But I want to know where the burger is. Okay, let's wrap there. I've been Teeaboo. This has been Wep, and all I can say is, welp. Welp. That happened. That was a thing, and we watched it, and I don't know what to think about it. I like a ton of it. I am absolutely confused and flabbergasted and baffled by a ton of it. What an experience. Just on that level of creating an experience that I've never had, where I fully cannot put together what happened with this show, I'm fascinated. I am absolutely fascinated. This makes me want to watch Nadia and the Secret of Blue Water. The one guy who popped up in my Discord a week ago and was like, "Hey, I saw Nadia on the poll. Here's a bunch of information about how fucked the production got. It got real weird." I want to see that now. I'm so interested. In fact, I would love to see more of the forgotten anime where production has gotten insane and things have gone wrong. Preferably ones where there's more information on precisely what went wrong. But this kind of stuff, where there is a project full of burgeoning potential, creative ideas, cool art, cool design, good direction, all the pieces that you need, and then it just sort of poofs into smoke and no burger is delivered to my table. This is fascinating. I mean, this is the real heart-pumping shit. Talk about getting invested in your characters. Fuck getting invested in your characters. Get invested in the characters behind the screen who are drawing the anime and making the thing and potentially fucking it up. How fascinating is that shit? Okay, we have to wrap because I'm going nowhere with this. I'm creating my own nothing burger of discussion. Where's the burger? I've been Teeaboo. This was the apparently finale of Wonder Egg Priority. I guess I recommend people stop at episode 12 unless they're fascinated by anime production and want to try to piece together what happened here. I'm super looking forward to more articles coming out over the next period of however long it takes for people to forget about Wonder Egg Priority, probably not long, that explore and explain some of the clusterfuck that must have happened behind the scenes. Either way, that's a wrap for now, and I'll see you next week for something different. Peace.